Testing, testing. This is a test, and we're starting it off private to see if we can get this to work. This will be our first live stream on this channel, and I'm going to just double check myself to make sure that it's working, which is why it is private. Let's see if we can find it. Technically reformed.
Getting that from YouTube.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Infinite regress. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Infinite regress. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Infinite regress. All right, I think we are officially live. And my name is Wayne Griffin, and I am streaming for the first time here live I am going to be pursuing through freecodecamp.org a full stack curriculum that I'm going to complete. The goal is to complete it in 1 year. You can read a little bit in my bio. This will be a journey. I'm going to be jumping right into going to their website here, starting off with learning how to HTML. I'm encouraged anybody to check it out. freecodecamp.org, completely free, certified full stack curriculum. I am a student getting ready to finish my bachelor degree in March, and beginning this process so they have the ability to pursue a full-time remote job, so that it would allow my wife to go part-time and then eventually be able to be home with our child and future children. That's our plan, and my long-term goal after pursuing that job would be going on to a seminary education. So I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to be using Brain FM music to help just focus and jump right into learning to code. It looks like we're starting off with HTML. This is your code editor where you'll write HTML. JavaScript makes your web page interactive. It lets you tell the page what to do when someone clicks a button, submits a form, or many other things. For the last step of the workshop, add another H3 and P element to this page describing JavaScript. transfer pages, but those don't exist either. So, do that, buddy. Camperbot is using an H3 element for the background interest subheading, but it has a syntax error. Spot the issue and resolve it. Let's run the test. We did it. We fixed it. In these lectures, you will learn more about HTML, which is hypertext markup language. The markup language for creating web pages. You will learn about HTML's role in the web and what HTML attributes are. What role does HTML play in the web? Let's learn. This looks like there's going to be reading and there's going to be 3 questions. HTML, which stands for Hypertext Markup Language, is a language for creating web pages. Visit a website and see content, paragraphs, headings, links, images, and videos. That's HTML. HTML represents the content and structure of a web page for the use of elements. Here's an example of a paragraph. Here's an example of a paragraph element. Hello. Most elements have an ongoing tag and closing tag. Sometimes those tags are referred to as start and end tags. In between those tags, you have the content. A left angle bracket and an in with a right angle bracket with the tag name placed between these brackets. Here's a closer look at just the opening and closing paragraph. Opening and closing. Okay. What distinguishes an opening tab from a closing tab is the forward slash placed immediately after the left angle bracket and a closing tag. Some HTML elements do not have a closing tab. These are known as void elements. Here is an example of an image element, which is a void element. Sometimes you will see void elements used for this. While many code formatters like Prettier will choose to include does not mark the start tag as self-closing, but instead is unnecessary and has no effect of any kind. In real world development, you will see both forms, so it's important to be familiar with both. If you want to display an image, you will need to include a couple of attributes inside of your image element. An attribute is a special value used to adjust the behavior for an HTML. Here's an example of an element with a src. source attribute. Image location. The SRC attribute is used to specify the location of that image. Looks like we're looking at a cat, so it all is describing cat sleeping in the grass. The alt attribute is used to provide a short descriptive text for images. Okay. The SRC source. Location, where it's coming from. The alt is the description. It's used to provide short descriptive text for images. In this case, the descriptive text is a cat sleeping in the grass. If you're creating a modern professional website, you will need to have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is the content and structure. CSS is for styling. JavaScript is for adding interactivity to your web pages. A good analogy for this is to compare HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a complete building. HTML represents the blocks, concrete, and irons that make up the walls, the foundation that makes the building strong. CSS represents the interior and exterior design that makes the house look beautiful. JavaScript represents the electrical and water system that ensures uninterrupted access to water and electricity. Hypertext markup language is what HTML says. Which of the following is the correct syntax for a closing tag? It's going to be this one. It goes in right after the left closing bracket. It's a bracket that's opening to the right. Which of the following is a valid attribute used inside the image element? SRC for source. Yes. We're getting there. What are attributes and how do they work? An attribute is a value placed inside the opening tag of an HTML element. Attributes provide additional information about the element or specify how the element should behave. Here's the basic syntax. Visit our site, visit our website. Example website. Without this attribute, it would not work because there would be no destination URL. So you must include the href attribute to make the link functional. Other common attributes are the source, SRC source, and alternative, and alt or alternative attribute, which is used to specify the source of an image and provide alternative descriptive text for the image respectively. A beautiful image. present, the checkbox will be unchecked. This is known as a Boolean attribute. You will learn more about Booleans in general when you get to the JavaScript section. There are several common Boolean attributes you will encounter in HTML, such as disabled, read-only, and required. These attributes are used to specify the state of an element, such as whether it is disabled, read-only, or required. So there's going to be reading. That's what we're learning here. Which of the following is an example of a Boolean attribute? Disabled. These are not. What is the role of an attribute in HTML? Attributes provide additional information and help define the behavior for HTML elements. Which of the following is the correct syntax for a Boolean attribute? Let's go look at it. So this is a Boolean. Checked. So it needs to be checked. So Boolean. That's what it looks like. I have a feeling it's got to be this one. I guess I was right. That was a little challenging. I didn't really like that. In this lab, you will need to find and fix the errors in this pet adoption page. Okay, here we go. Let's look at the page. Welcome to XYZ Adoption. Consider adopting a pet today. We have dogs, cats, rabbits, and more. See our cats. There's nothing here there's no link for the cat page. Adopt a cat. Visit cat page. Visit dog page. There is no link for seeing the cats. Okay, for reference, 5-minute break built into, I think it's called Pomodoro. Might have pronounced that wrong, but the technique for learning. So 30 minutes of work, 5-minute break. Tries to help you keep yourself from getting distracted. So for this break, actually, I'm gonna see if there's any updates. See if there's any updates on the news of today. Anybody that doesn't know, this is a 5-minute break in between learning to code, and we're going to do another 30 minutes, and that should be it for today. What a shame. 31-year-old kid.
It's not good for the community at large, and especially not good for the ultimate messaging from law enforcement that really needs to be coming from one source, and it must be tested before it goes out to the public. And so I would I would just say that at this point, we should be very careful in putting anything out there with regards to somebody being in custody.
And Scott, what do you make here of this suspect there that we, of course, we don't know too much about right now, still on the loose, but, you know, it would seem like in this situation that this person would probably want to go out in a blaze of glory and maybe either get caught right away or shoot themselves at the scene, maybe with a handgun. But for this person to shoot and kill Charlie and then just kind of escape without incident, it seems a little bit different.
Yeah, this is a little bit different, and I've heard whether it's professional, not professional, I can definitely say trained. You know, going back to the assassination, the murder of the U.S. healthcare CEO. Again, was this individual trained? Was it a professional? And then, of course, we see the outcome of someone who was very strongly intent on killing not only the CEO that he targeted, but generally going out there to look for others in targeting the U.S. healthcare. So here you have an individual that really, I would say, is well trained. I don't know the exact yardage if that's been put out there, but I've heard anywhere from 50 to 200 yards. Either way, that's a considerable amount of time for just a novice. For someone who is mentally ill that all of a sudden decides to get a gun, maybe not having practice with the gun, then to get onto a roof and to be able to fire one round, not a bunch of rounds, and to hit their target. So I do believe in the proficiency of this individual. There's no doubt in my mind but it's a targeted event as opposed to a random mass shooting where a person is going in to do the most harm in the shortest period of time, and ultimately, if they're not taken into custody by law enforcement, they meet their demise either by suicide or by law enforcement encounter, and they have no escape. It would seem to me this person stayed at a distance, had planned, had surveilled, knew exactly what was going on, knew the layout, and had an escape plan, and they were successful in that.
Time to get back to work. All right, we're debugging the code here. So, see our cats. They're missing. Your job is to fix the errors so Sally can continue building her page. Objective: fulfill the user stories below and get all the tests to pass and complete the lab. Sally wants to use an image of some of the cats, but it is not displaying correctly. You will need to fix the following with the IMG image element. Each one, paragraph, we have dogs and more. See our cats, so there should be so instead of tabby kittens sleeping together on the couch. Next, remove the image closing tag because they're not void elements and don't have closing tags. So doesn't need to have a closing tag. So that would mean that basically means it just doesn't need. instead of a source. It's an href, right? Another one, href. Let's see if that's it. Hey, debug a pet adoption blades. We did it. Our first work at the help desk. We did it. We did it. And you have an option. They do ask you every once in a while to become a supporter of. It's a completely free, freecodecamp.org. I have zero affiliation with it whatsoever. And I'm probably not going to become a supporter for a while. By God's grace, I will continue this, and it would make sense to support something that's been helping me a lot. So far, so good. The reading sections, the lectures are certainly lectures. So they require a little bit of effort. Hey, this is a decent. Look at this lecture. This is nice and short. I'll take a lecture like this. In these lectures, you will learn about HTML boilerplate, which is a ready-made template for your web pages. You will learn how to work with the link element and meta element and more. What is the role of a link element? What is the role of a link element in HTML, and how can it be used to link to external style sheets? Let's learn about the link element and how to use it to link external style sheets. The link element is used to link external resources like style sheets and site icons. Here is the basic syntax for using the link element for an external CSS file. Link the REL attribute is used to specify the relationship between the link resource and the HTML. It's for a relationship HTML document. Okay, in this situation, we need to specify that this link resource is a style sheet. Link relationship is a style sheet. There's where you can find it. There's the link for it. Relationship. Okay. It is considered best practice to separate our HTML and CSS in different lines. HTML and CSS in different lines. Developers will use the link element for their external CSS file instead of writing everything in the HTML document. The href attribute is used to specify the location to the URL for the external resource. The dot followed by a / in the example tells the computer to look in the current folder or directory. The dot followed by the / tells the computer to look in the current folder or directory for the style.css file. The link element should be placed inside the head element as seen in the example. Excuse me. The link element should be placed inside the head element as seen in the following example. Head. So it's inside the head. The link is inside the head there. Okay. Heading. Oftentimes you will see link elements inside a professional code base that link to different style sheets, fonts, and icon. Here is an example of using the link element to link to an external Google font called Playwright Cuba. So pre-connect. It's used to link external resources like style sheets inside icons. It's used to specify the relationship between the link resource and the HTML document. This is a type, a small icon tip displayed next to the title. Yes. Tomorrow, the world. What is an HTML boilerplate and why is it important? Learn about the HTML boilerplate. What is the boilerplate, you ask? It is a ready-made template for your web pages. It's a ready-made template. A boilerplate, ready-made template. This is a boilerplate, doc type, HTML, head, meta, template, okay. There's the title. Wraps around all your content. It can specify the language of your page inside the HTML tag. You'll find two main sections, a head and a body. Hear the vacuum, I apologize. My phone is being used to record this in 4K, and so at this moment I cannot turn off this robot vacuum, so hopefully my Shure mic here is not picking up that sound, so if it is, I apologize. But moving on. Site's metadata contained in meta elements has details about things like character encoding, how websites like Twitter should preview your page's link. Finally, you'll typically link your page's external style sheets in the head section using the link elements. Type of template that can be set up for what you're trying to do while building websites or applications or whatever you're doing. It's going to save time. Everything's done and put in place correctly, and so you don't have to write. You're just filling in or connecting or making any changes based on your current context. I can see that. Next time you start a new HTML file, consider using a boilerplate. It will definitely give you a solid foundation to build off. I would like to do that. Where would you set the character encoding for your page? Dot type, maybe. That's wrong. It's actually meta inside the body. Meta inside the head, yes. Let's make sure that's correct. There we go. Yep, inside the head. Not inside the body. Where would you set the language for your page? What purpose does a boilerplate serve? It provides a structure for your websites. It ensures you are not missing an essential element. It allows you to start writing the content of your page faster. Yes. All of the above. All right. What is UTF 8-character encoding and why is it needed? UTF-8 or UCS transformation. UCS transformation format 8 is a standardized character encoding widely used on web encoding. Character encoding is the method computers use to store characters as data. It's essentially all text on a web page here's an example of using the meta element with the char set attribute to the set character encoding. In computing, a byte is a single. Let's look at this. I might. Not sure this will be useful, but I hope so. You never know, tracking that information. If you learn something new, I like to use lots of different docs to just take notes so that I could reference them later, and specifically a lot of writing papers. UTF-8, so the UCS transformation format 8, standardized character encoding. Okay, so it's char set, so attributes character encoding to UTF-8, so that's inside of the meta. By setting the character encoding to UTF-8, you will ensure that the accented E character is displayed correctly on the image. Here's an extended code example of using the UTF-8 encoding. Which attribute is used to set UTF-8 character encoding for the documents? Char set, right? I think it is. Character set, right? Let's see, yeah. What is character encoding? A method of computers to store characters. Just remembers the font. It refers to processor. Methods computers use to store characters as data. That's what encoding is. Encoding, a method of computers. A method computers use to store characters as data. Which we are starting. I don't even know what encoding is, so it's starting from nowhere. You can do it too. Don't need to do that, though. It's just a method. Method computers use to store characters as data. Encoding. How many bits are inside of a byte? 8 bits. All right. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Build a recipe. Build a cat photo app workshop. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. We're really going to make sure you learn that. And it represents the content and structure of a web page. In this workshop, you will learn how to work with basic HTML elements such as headings, paragraph, images, links, and lists. I'm going to start. So this is my first project. Look at this project. That is going to be way more than what I can do in this next section. I'll need to wake my wife up soon and double check on our little baby girl. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the music and going to go ahead and end the live stream. Anybody who actually did see this, thank you for being a part of this journey. Please join it. I don't know if there's others out there who, in our modern culture, with my desires, and part of my journey is wanting to gain this skill in a growing field, to be able to have a remote position, working from home. I have an uncle who's in cybersecurity. He's doing really well, enjoys that. It's going to be a journey. My goal is to be able to provide for my family, to be able to allow my wife to go part-time and eventually working from home as I finish my bachelor's degree. That's going to be finished in March. And then I'll be pursuing a seminary degree, a Master of Divinity. That'll be online, embedded in our local church. So in between my bachelor's degree and my master's degree is going to be and I'm starting, and what we'll be doing is starting now, but in between there, I'll be able to have from March so about 6 months where I'll pretty much be able to full time be taking care of our daughter, but also putting in several hours, trying to do maybe something along the lines of 3 or 4 hours a day. During that time to achieve the goal of, this is day one, and the goal is to complete this curriculum, complete their curriculum and pursue a developer position in 1 year. So 9/11/2025, this is the start, day one, and hoping to post regularly. We'll be going on vacation this weekend, but the goal is to post at least 3 times a week and gauge the progress. Hopefully more than that, if I can do every day to help me stay accountable. I'll hop on here in the future. I'll be able to break down different things from different videos that were learned into smaller sections, so maybe people can use them. Hopefully this journey is beneficial to you. I know that there are other, for example, pastors out there who where churches are struggling and thinking of, this could be something, a free coding camp that people can do in a year. We're going to find out, to be able to be bivocational or support themselves, or people that, like myself, went through alcoholism and addiction. And, I'm a college dropout. The Ohio State University asked me to leave twice because of just poor decisions and a part of a stage of life that wasn't sustainable, alcoholism and drug use. And so someone who had to completely start over at life at 30 years old, really, getting sober. And so here's an opportunity to where you can achieve through a nonprofit free coding experience. And so I'm going to walk through it and complete the entire curriculum. And they boast that over 40,000 people have started this journey and have secured web developer positions. With AI and cybersecurity, these needs and other web development at an all-time high, and the numbers are supposed to grow as for these positions. I just encourage you to hop into the journey, follow along to at least to see where I end up, and you can kind of have a firsthand account of how it is, maybe learn some things, start your journey. Let me know in the comments if you decide to start your journey, starting wherever you are. Anybody can learn this. They make it interactive. You can take your time, go as fast as slow as you want. Just make sure you're continuing to stay consistent. Let me know in the comments too if you have your thoughts of AI. If you've used it, if it's part of your life at all, if you have any concerns about it, I'm just very interested into hearing what people have to say about it. Now that I've started to look into some of these things, but let me know your perspective. Thank you for your time. God bless you. Take care.